Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Snowfall Season 4. This is the first 2 episodes. FX decided, you know what, you guys have suffered enough having to wait pretty much a year and a half for this, so we're giving you 2 at once.
Right, and I'm really excited that they did do it this way because it felt like these 2 episodes kind of blended together really well, and also double Snowfall. I am really happy that the show is back. I really love Damson a lot. I mean, he's such a good storyteller. I was just watching old interviews with him. He is such a good storyteller. He is so funny.
Yeah.
And he goes in and out of his own British accent and the accent of Franklin like butter. In and out. It's crazy. I've never seen anybody do accents like him. And I realize that this is turning into an I Love Damson video. So I'm just going to cut it there.
Well,
but you know what? I love him. He's a treasure. Okay.
I feel like a good, I don't know, let us know in the comments, but I feel like the majority of a lot of us feel like Franklin Saint is the best part of Snowfall, and
oh yeah,
really good 2 episodes for Franklin Saint. I mean, there's plenty of other stuff going on. We're going to talk in this video a lot about people not being great at their jobs at the moment.
Yep.
Not necessarily Franklin, but, some other people. But before we get into any of this, this is our first time talking about Snowfall at the channel. We're really excited. And if you guys enjoy what we're putting down here, subscribe, because we're going to have a lot more coverage throughout this season. We don't want you to miss any of it.
Yeah, we'll have reviews up after each episode.
Okay, so I know there's a lot to take in here. We're talking about 2 episodes.
Yeah, so we'll start with sort of like a little like where are they now kind of thing, so that we all are on the same page with that. So
okay.
Right now, Franklin's parents and Louis and Jerome, they're not talking. Obviously, after everything that happened with Franklin, there's some tension there. Franklin's parents, they're worried about him, obviously. I mean, he got shot, so this is where they are. We saw Mel. She's clean. She's living with her aunt. She's found God, so we haven't really had too much about her yet, but it's nice to see that she's doing better, because she was not doing well last season at all.
Oh man, that episode where, she was completely lost on it, like, that was Snowfall's biggest reminder of, oh yeah, this business, it can be very, very profitable, but yeah, these are the consequences, and they're not good. And yeah, turning to religion for Mel, maybe this is a chance to get kind of a sense of community around her, to get better, to sort of have a distraction from this addiction. I'm worried about how long it lasts, because she's still on the show, and if you're still on Snowfall, it might be bad news for you.
Yeah. Also, Leon and Franklin, oh man, their friendship is really fractured, and this is kind of a reminder of why it's so difficult to work with friends and family, and why there's sort of that saying, don't work with your friends, don't work with your family, because at some point it's going to turn into, also, by the way, I'm also your boss. And I mean, we saw that last season with that fight in the car. Now we're sort of at this spot where Leon and Franklin's relationship is really fractured from that. And I mean, I kind of get it from both sides. Leon and Franklin have been friends forever, and they've been doing this business now for a while. And I think Leon feels like Franklin is his best friend. He's got his back no matter what he does. And I think he's kind of not seeing the bigger picture of what is being on Franklin's shoulders, where he's like dealing with this multi-million-dollar business now. He's got friends depending on him. He's got family depending on him. He's got sort of his suppliers and everyone else, and Teddy, CIA, everybody's depending on him. That he needs to be the boss sometimes. And we forget sometimes he's 21 years old. He's a very young guy. So could that car conversation have gone a little better? Sure. Yeah. He didn't have to explode at him, but you have to remember what's weighing on him. He's a very young guy, and all of us at 21, we may not have all been wordsmiths at that time to talk to our friends in the right way while we're super pissed.
Let's just say none of us are in a good spot when we are 21 to do this. And this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about, is male friendship as presented on TV, because I think, honestly, a lot of shows suck at it. I think Power did a good job with Ghost and Tommy.
Yeah, they did.
Snowfall's doing a pretty good job here with Franklin and Leon, because guess what? You're not going to spend all your time in life being like, hey, bro, let's bro down. You want to go to the bar and get a brewski? Like, this is how I assume bros talk to each other. But, life isn't like that. And you're seeing with Franklin and Leon proof. I'm just going to keep talking right through the proof.
Yeah, you really should. This is the most I've ever heard you say bro at once.
Bro, okay, no, it's a real reminder that perception is not always reality when you're in a friendship like this. And I think Leon he's the hero of his own narrative. Like, Leon, he's got to be a big fan of Leon. And because of what you said, he doesn't see things from Franklin's point of view. He sees things, this is the Leon show about Leon. And so he's not comprehending the idea that he is probably not even in the top 5 of Franklin's priorities at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to separate your friendship from your business. And I think that moment in the car was the moment where Franklin was a boss. And I think that really hurt their friendship. I mean, we've seen in these 2 episodes, they're not really talking a lot. Leon is fine just dealing with the community he's in. He doesn't really want part of anything else. He did eventually show up to the New Year's Eve party where Gustavo was there and Leon lost his mind. And Franklin was kind of like, he's been here the whole time. Like, if you were here with us the whole time, you would know this sort of thing. Like, he hasn't gone anywhere. This is business.
This is another fine example of what you said earlier. We can understand both points of view here. Like,
yep.
I get fully why Leon is not a big fan of Gustavo.
Yep.
But like Franklin said, Gustavo's been around. It's not like all of a sudden, hey, I'm bringing Gustavo into the business now. Let's hear your reaction. Franklin's not really thinking about, what's going to happen if Leon and Gustavo get in the same room together. He's got more important things on his mind.
Yeah, so I mean, this of course has fractured their relationship even more. Leon has decided to go on his own. Project's kind of drying up for him a little bit. So he's decided to try to look elsewhere with a really weird scene where, like, him and his guys are kind of going up to who might be a new type of supplier, and then they just, like, scared themselves, running back to the car where the guys are at the top of the hill being like, what is happening?
Leon, you're good at many things. This is not what you were good at. I think we can establish that Leon is part 1 of the Snowfall series of people who are bad at their jobs in this episode. Leon, don't take this job. It is not free. Just from the moment they arrived there, and they were like, this is straight out of a horror movie. It's a meet. Like, where are they going to meet? I think they even said Disneyland in the episode.
Yeah, and they were like, you go. No, you go. All right, I'll go. I'll do it. It was great. That scene was great.
They're not going to be like, hi, everyone. Would you like what's in this plastic bag, please? It's like, that's not how this goes.
That's how a deal would go if you and I were going, not Leon.
This is why we watch shows like Snowfall and Power, because it is basically the exact opposite. Like, we live in a world full of, like, meets taking place at Disneyland, apparently.
So my hope that's going to come out of this, obviously I want to see Leon and Franklin back together again and working together again. And my hope is that Leon is going to sort of realize where his shortcomings are, and that Franklin also is going to realize how much he actually needs Leon. I know that, not just for business, but also just for his friendship. He doesn't have, like, a lot of friends that he can really depend on. He's got lots of people working for him, and he's got a good family, but friends, Leon needs to be back.
Yeah, because that could be another series in here, and Snowfall characters who are not your friend, Franklin. Let's start number 1. Teddy is not your friend, Franklin. No,
Teddy is not your friend. And I understand where Teddy is coming from when Franklin goes to him and is like, hey, there's some gang problems going on here. I need your help. And Teddy's like, no, pick a side.
Yeah, like, Teddy wants to do his job. He wants to, use an illegal trade in order to stop a communist operation elsewhere. We can go into all of Teddy's motives another time, but it's like he's not there to, go arm in arm with Franklin down the streets of Los Angeles, making sure they can do it. He's just supplying him and letting him do his thing. But like you said, he gives them some advice. Pick a side. Take out the other side. Establish more ground for yourself. You've got Manboy over here. You've got Scully over here.
Yeah, and it was a really interesting conversation, too, when he was talking to Louis and Jerome about it, because they both actually had good points on both of them. Because for the moment where it was like, the obvious choice is Manboy, but even though Scully's crazy, he stays in his own lane, and you can deal with that, where Manboy's really ambitious, and down the road, he's going to be a problem. They're not wrong about that. He is going to be a problem.
This is 100% true. Scully is also just terrifying, like that scene with him after he nearly dies, and he's just like sitting there with the bottle. It's like, this guy, I'm not working with this guy.
Oh yeah, he's terrifying.
Like, yeah, so they make this decision. They decide to have their, grand sneak attack operation. And at first I was kind of like, oh, this Franklin and his crew, this may actually work for all of them. But here's the problem with this. If you're gonna do this, you have to actually make sure that Scully is gone. So this is part 2 at Snowfall, people who are bad at their jobs. Everyone trying to take out Scully and failing at it.
Yeah, and nobody dealing with this.
Yeah, nobody. So Scully is alive.
And mad.
And very mad. Scully, so we have Franklin who's gone, to Tanase, who's going to have apparently a pretty big part in this season, a.k.a. T. He asked her to go and get information on Scully. She comes back and is like, Scully's still alive. Franklin then has this idea of, okay, I'm going to go to Nick's and then I'm going to be like, here's some money. You go get some people. You guys take care of this, because clearly, we weren't able to take care of this.
Yeah, and I mean, it seemed like a pretty reasonable deal for both sides. It's a workout for Franklin. He'll have Scully and his guys off the streets. Nix will have some good callers. Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's not my area. I'm going to have to bring in a couple guys that are in that area. Okay, cool, no problem. Here, I'll throw a bunch of money at this situation. You guys take care of it. Nix and those guys just rolling up to Scully's house was really weird. Like, I didn't understand what they thought they were going to accomplish with this. Like, there was no plan. They just pulled up to his apartment complex and it was just like, nope, we're leaving. We got set up. And it's just like, nobody set you up. You guys set yourselves up. Like, take a minute, go to a coffee shop, have a coffee, come up with a plan. Don't just go to his apartment and knock on his door and be like, hey, we're here to arrest you. You all right with that? It's not the way it's going to go.
Big part 3 at Snowfall characters being bad at their jobs here. Nix, I don't know what your deal is with the, there's people here, and then leave it. Like, come on, how do you... Okay, get tinfoil hat time here for a minute here. Is there a part of Nix who just wanted to act as though Franklin had it out for him the whole time? Is he still annoyed about Andre? What's going on here with this guy?
I don't know, but then he gets even weirder and he decides to go to Alton and threaten him instead of just going back to Franklin and being like, what happened? Where then Franklin can say, no, what happened? Why did you just go to his apartment like that? Why didn't you come up with a plan? I gave you enough money to come up with a plan. Why didn't you come up with a plan?
Man, Nix just sucks. I'm just going to say it. Like, you go into... Franklin doesn't care if you go to his dad. Like, yeah, I think it's unfortunate that you decided to do this while he was, like, at the shelter.
He's so bad at this.
Yeah, like, he is really, really bad at this. Like, what's Alta gonna do? Go home, tell Franklin this, and what's Franklin gonna do? Oh no, I'm terrified now. I must go back to Nix and give him more money.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure what really Nix thought was going to happen with this situation. He really should have just gone to Franklin, or together they should have just come up with a plan. I think Franklin thought Nix was smarter than this, and he's not.
I guess it's possible Franklin may go ahead and give Nix more money in the short term, but in the long term, I don't think this is working out for you, Chief. Like, I'm sorry. I think Nix is going the way of the dodo this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think Franklin can turn it around, but Franklin needs to give him guidance on how to deal with this, because Nix clearly has, like, not enough experience.
Yeah, there's a small list of people who I think are pretty good at their roles in Snowfall, and this includes, obviously, Franklin. Leon, when he sort of has the right guidance behind him, I think he's good.
Yeah, he is.
Jerome, we're big Jerome fans.
I love Jerome. He is one of the best characters on this show. I love everything about him. His muscles on top of his muscles, and he's such a little softy inside for his family and the right people and Louis. I love Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome, I believe
Now this is a I love Jerome video.
I believe
Sorry,
in you, Jerome.
guys.
I believe in Jerome. I believe mostly in Franklin, so long as Franklin's people don't screw him over.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say I believe in the reporter. I give her credit, I guess, for not having that situation with Alton and Nick's go worse than it did.
Here's the thing with the reporter. Here's the weaker part of this episode for me, and I think it's not necessarily because of Irene or the actress or anything that's going on. It's just I've seen this story in shows so many times where we have a reporter that comes in that's sniffing around trying to write a story, and it's just that part of it has just been done so much that when this came up I was like, oh no, we don't need this to be part of. There is so much going on this show that we do not need this as well.
Give me another 5 minutes of Franklin and Jerome just like talking, and I will be so much happier with just that, because like that stuff and the whole, as terrible as it went, but the whole shootout planning and aftermath of Scully, like that was some of the best stuff of these first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it was.
I will say this, I've not been a huge Gustavo fan over the years. Has not been my favorite character. I did enjoy the Teddy and Gustavo stuff in this episode more than I have. Mostly just because of the fact that I can't decide if the new chief that they're dealing with, is he good at his job for being a terrible, murderous, like, corrupt, or is he just so bad at his job that eventually he's gonna get found? Like, no matter what, like, this guy's really bad news for both of them.
For sure. He's like, oh yeah, the old chief, yeah, $5,000 a week was fine for him. $100,000 a week. I'm like, whoa, that just escalated like nobody's business. You're like asking for like 1,000 times more. This is crazy. And I'll agree, Gustavo hasn't been my favorite either. And you know, I like Teddy all right. But I think once because for a while it was like the 3 stories of sort of what's going on with Teddy, what's going on with Gustavo, what's going on with Franklin. Having Teddy and Gustavo working together in this sort of weird bromance and back and forth that's going on with them has fixed the situation for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I just felt more connected to what was going on. Like, I liked the build-up with the avocados and sort of how I was like, okay, it seems like this is a competent plan, but these cops were ready for it. They were prepared. Then we saw all the negotiating that went back and forth. Then we also saw the weird birthday party scene, which I don't know why. I was kind of into it. Would you hire him for your birthday party? We have a birthday coming up.
No.
He could come out in the wrestling outfit.
I do have a birthday coming up on February 28th. Please don't hire him.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I'm just feeling out ideas here, everybody, as to what works or what doesn't. But yeah, I think
Donuts. That's what I want for my birthday.
Donuts, yes.
Not Gustavo dressed as a wrestler coming over.
Okay, all right. We have established this. Also, apparently you don't want to get too close to Gustavo because the police chief and his people are going to go and kill them based on the end of this episode.
Yeah, that was quite the cliffhanger. So they thought that they had negotiated to $50,000 a week. The chief is like, nope, it is $100,000, and also here's a pile of bodies.
This is terrible. Like, this is not a good situation for Teddy and Gustavo, because you've got this, and then also, Javi, we got to talk here for a moment with your, I don't really want to go down to Central America to check on these guns. You know, I'm good. I don't know if this is like, I don't think Teddy's got, you know, the gusto to come back at me for this. I don't know if we should be including Javi in the you're bad at your job business here because...
Oh, yeah, he's number what do we have?
I think we're at 4 or 5 at this point.
Yeah, no, that's not a good move. You can't be like, yeah, my guy that you don't know is going to go do this, but you know me and trust me, but this person you don't know and don't trust, don't worry, he'll do it. You know, you can trust me. I'm all right.
Teddy's retaliation to this, like the gunshot, this is probably like one of my favorite Teddy moments of the whole show.
Yeah.
I like Teddy so much more when he's just not like sitting around in an office and moping and in his feelings, because like, dude, you did this to yourself. You agreed to take on this operation. I get that it's hard on you. It's taking a toll. I don't need to see 3 seasons of this. I'm glad we're seeing kind of a hardened Teddy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is a side of Teddy that I need to see, that I've wanted to see. I think it's important to his character to have a little bit more of that to make him a bit more believable in this role.
I'm really glad we had so much to talk about through these first 2 episodes. Like, this was pretty jam-packed.
Yeah, it was. And it's nice to have it back. I mean, we were expecting it last year. Last year came and went, and it just wasn't there. I mean, it's just nice to have it back.
It's a good start, but we gotta know from you guys. Was this a good start to Snowfall Season 4? Give us your favorite moment. Like, where do you think things are going from here with Franklin? Can he assemble, I don't know, the Snowfall Avengers back together? Like, let us know. And if you like this video, subscribe, give us a like, support us further. Check out those links to the store, our Patreon.
And we'll see you next time.